Joakim, how's the summer been, and how much catch-up do you feel like you've gotten done since you were not one of the receivers who was here in January?
I got you. I don't think it was much catch up because like every week when I wasn't here, we were on Zooms and other things, and I came up here several times during the spring just to make sure like I was with the guys on the installs and stuff like that. Even though like I wasn't on the field, which is kind of like a big piece of it, being on the field and like having to execute while you're on the field. So that's probably the biggest adjustment for me. Just operate on the field when I see like an install and got to do it on the field. So that's probably been the biggest adjustment, but I don't think it's much catch up right now.
Are you a guy naturally who can visually learn? You don't have to like walk through to learn things, like, you know, being on the board, video stuff that's a way for you to learn, because everybody learns different. So did that make it easier?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know. Football is like you got to get your feet wet a little bit to get it, but so that's the thing. That's probably been the biggest adjustment, like having to see it and then go do it right away in college versus high school. Maybe you get a little extra time where it's a little easier. In college, I would say I'm definitely more got to get on the field and get my feet wet to really get it. But sometimes it depends on the concept or something we're doing that I could get it easier just visually, not having to go on the field and do it.
Was there any panic or pressure being one of the two guys that wasn't here during the spring, and did you have to kind of keep yourself from feeling like you had to play catch up and maybe overdoing things?
Oh yeah, but every time I met with the staff, they told me not do that. Like, just be patient. That's why they were on Zooms with me all the time. They just told me don't do that. You'll be fine when you get here. And when I got here, it was the same way. We like started installs from summer 1 all the way through. And I went through all the things with other guys, so it wasn't much catch up because I already knew the concepts when I got here. Versus like, say they didn't do Zooms with me, then it would be catch up. But right now, no catch up, no worry.
Did you keep in pretty constant contact with Travis and Rodarius just to sort of keep tabs on how they were going through the process in the spring to kind of help you as you were kind of doing your own thing?
Oh yeah, for sure. Every time I came up here, I would always like stay with Travis, so he would always tell me how things were going and like how hard it was to get it and the adjustment from high school installs to college installs. And obviously it's been a difference since it's college, but like they had no worry, so I was like, I'm not gonna have any worry because those guys are in my same position, just coming from high school. So it was just pretty easy adjustment. They helped make everything easier on me.
You mentioned you came up here a few times in the spring, but what were you doing on your own in that last semester of high school that you feel really has set you up for success since you got here in the summer?
I ran track, and I ran track, getting my speed right. I always ran track though, but just obviously doing Zooms, obviously, and like just trying to stay in shape. Because the biggest thing when you get here in college, obviously not having this spring for me, is being in shape and being in the weight room. And that's still been an adjustment because it's different from high school, but those are probably the two biggest things I worked on in the off season while I was gone.
100-meter dash?
100-meter dash, more like 400. I always want to work on 400 because it's like strength, speed, and you have to really stay strong through the whole race. It's a hard race, and I commend anybody who can do it because it's really hard.
What's your time?
My best time was like 50 flat, I believe. So pretty decent. Not a track guy. I'm glad I didn't run track in college. It's a different beast, but just try to stay in shape for football.
Was there anything you had to do while you were running track, differences with football and track to make sure you were still staying, in Tennessee football shape, but also being your best track high school athlete?
Oh, for sure. I trained with the distance group, being honest, to really keep me in shape and get ahead of the curve while I wasn't here, because I knew I was going to be behind the curve a little bit in the weight room and training, because they trained every day. In track, we don't train every day since you have to run in the meets. So just doing that, I thought I could get ahead of the curve, and like getting here and being in the conditions, the condition portion of it, I feel like I've been great, been ahead of the line, and everything's been smooth.
How are you measuring? Go ahead.
How do you guys balance? I mean, coaches always talking about you don't have time to be young. Young guys don't have time to be young. Your room is young and light, not a lot of bodies in there. How do you guys balance the urgency to be ready to play and not overload yourself and put yourself where you're trying to do too much as you go through this month?
Oh, I just think you just got to stay patient. You just got to stay calm through it all. Don't worry about playing off the bat. Just worry about getting the installs, executing properly, getting the signals, doing everything right, doing the little things right, and you don't got to worry about just getting thrown in the fire, because like they're not gonna throw you in the fire if you're not ready, being honest. But you just got to make sure you're getting everything. You're getting better day by day, executing, operating, and ultimately making plays when they come to you. So that's probably been the biggest portion. And we don't try to think about being young, obviously, like you said, because on Saturdays, nobody cares about you being young. They want you to come perform, and we all get that. So we're just trying to execute and play properly when we get practice. So it's not bad. We're not worried about that right now. Just worried about executing.
Have the first 2 days been harder than you expected in practice? Just faster pace? Have you performed how you wanted to? What's been the first 2 days like?
The first 2 days, honestly, we're just getting into it since we're just getting past. But I think I'm doing pretty well, honestly. Still first team period today, so like made a little mess up, but Coach Bo was on me about it. But I think it's just I'm glad I got that team period, and not just me, but the whole team. I'm glad we're getting team periods and having to execute fast, getting the signals fast, because you know how this offense is. So I think I've been doing pretty good, but still can improve. Obviously, really being my second day of practice here, so just trying to get better at everything I do.
When they say like you don't have time to be young, what does that look like when you are in practice? Whether it's making sure you're not making those types of mistakes. Like what does that look like not being young during practice?
Not being young. So most young guys, when they come in, make mistakes, and it takes multiple times to learn it. So not being young, they're only going to tell you one time, and they want you to get it. So I feel like that's what they mean by it.
You're in the slot, right? How appealing is that position given some of the guys that have come through here and put up a lot of production?
It's very appealing, definitely. You look like Jalen Hyatt, Velus Jones, other guys. It's very appealing because you get a lot of passes, a lot of deep passes, and you got to be great speed, obviously. But right now, we got two guys in the slot that are also really good, and Braylon and Amari. So I just look at them. They've been giving me tips on several things, what they see that I do well, what they see I can improve on. So it's very appealing, but we also got guys that can do the job and perform really well.
Is that different for you from high school? Were you on the outside in high school?
Yes, I was on the outside in high school because I was a bigger body in high school, about 6'1". So in high school, that's big. When I got here, they put me in the slot because I'm not as big as our outside guy. So it's a little bit different, but I like it because you get mismatched against linebackers and safeties. So I like it a lot.
Is there an ideal weight you want to be at?
My first weight goal was 190, and I hit that already. So I'm at 191 about right now.
All right, thanks, Joakim.
Perfect. Appreciate y'all.